My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye SpeedLore, the remarkable series where we look at a stage in the Nintendo 64 classic GoldenEye, the speedruns that have taken place on the stage over the ages, and the speedrunners who made it all happen. And tonight, we have a classic, iconic stage, one of everyone's favorites, Facility Agent. One of the most memorable stages in the game, owing to the famous bathroom scene in the movie GoldenEye, where Bond famously drops down from the vents and slaps a guard. And you indeed see those familiar vents in this stage. A stage I always recommend for beginners, as it features a variety of movements and methods and techniques to hone your speedrunning skills. But the speedruns we will show tonight are far from beginner. Well, except for the first one. As eventually the world record on the stage was only attainable by the best of the best, or the most strongly blossoming talent in the game. Let's take a look, my friends, at Facility Agent. And for that, let's take a look at the objectives, and I'm going to scroll through the whole opening file actually here. The objectives: gain entry to laboratory area, rendezvous with 006, destroy all tanks and bottling room, minimize scientist casualties. So a lot of you will remember the ending of this level. I used to throw mines on these I guess they're tanks in a bottling room. And it doesn't really ever say what they are. I was going to say what they are bottling. I guess it's chemical weapons. You know, I hear bottling plant, I think of soda. But I guess they're making chemical weapons. You should quickly and efficiently proceed to the bottling area and place demolition charges on the main gas tanks. Political considerations demand that collateral damage is minimized in this mission. Non-military personnel should be disregarded. Okay, thank you for the background of this. You'll be working with 006 on this assignment. The bottling room is the rendezvous point. Don't forget to contact our double agent scientist before you leave and warn him to get out. He'll provide you with a decoder for the final security door. So that is Dr. Doak, but that's only on Secret and Double Agent. We don't have to worry about that on Agent. There are no women or casinos for 1,000 miles, so even you will be able to concentrate on this mission. Yes, it's true. You can imagine how that can get to Bond. Now listen carefully, these bombs will be armed as soon as the last one is set. Don't be too close when you set them off or you'll go up in flames as well. And while you're at it, please try and bring back the door opener undamaged. Now what's interesting about this one is that, this isn't quite true. There is, a countdown timer where the gas... it's like... Once you talk to Trevelyan, an in-game timer starts where Ormov comes out. But nothing blows up on this mission. In fact, a lot of you might remember you can, kill infinite guards. If you get infinite ammo on, all guns on, infinite guards come spawning at the end. You can just stay in there. So the mission doesn't blow up, nor do the bombs automatically get set automatically get armed as soon as the last one's set. So I do wonder if this stuff kind of was supposed to be in the game and never kind of came of it. There is an in-game timer that activates the kind of Ormov coming out and all the infinite guards spawning, but nothing about the whole area blowing up. So that's kind of cool. And then we get Moneypenny's last little speech. The chemicals could prove to be a match even for your pheromones, James. Don't take too many risks. And yeah, so the chemicals, if you blow up the tanks at the end of the level, the gas leaks out and does eventually do damage to you. But, of course, this is not something that the speedrunners will ever have to deal with. So, without further ado, now we get the picture. Let's watch a run of this mission. And for the first run, the most beginner video we could find was not our friend Madman Fletcher on this level, who's given us so many great beginner videos. This run actually belongs to Brian Burchett. So thank you for submitting this remarkable beginner speedrun. Let's find out how Facility Agent is played. So there's the famous vents. You drop down, there's a guard to your right, you can barely see him, but even the most beginner will avoid that guard. Come in here, shoot this guy for the key card. You need this key card to open this door, and then you need to activate this console. It's as simple as pressing B at the console. The key card also opens this door. That console opens this door. You can't open it any other way. And you proceed through the mission. You need that key card. So there's 3 doors that you can only open with the key card. This one as well. Now you go in here. He's going to pick up the body armor. He's going to press B at this console. There you go. Good stuff. And now another door will be opened. A door that is unopenable yourself. You can never press B at this door and have it open. Objective A completed. And that's why it's an objective, I guess. You have to kind of pick up a key card, hit 2 consoles in order to access the laboratory area, Objective A. And Brian is going to continue through here. There's Trevelyan down there. And he hasn't alerted Trevelyan yet. That costs him some time. Him and Trev could already be speaking. There, Trev comes in and sees him. And there he blows up the mines, exits the level, and the mission is indeed completed. And we have a lovely time of 1:33. Very nice. Let's take a look at the bottling area, actually. Just to show what Brian does here on this run. And you really, a lot of people, especially when you were first playing the game, you didn't really know how the remote mines worked. But you're going to throw them on these tanks. You have 5 mines, there's 10 tanks, so each one has a kind of area of effect that can blow up at least the nearby tank. Pulls out the detonator, presses Z, waits for Trevelyan to be out of the area, and exits the level, and very complete, and it works. So, now we know how Facility Agent is played. Thanks to Brian Burchett for this remarkable speedrun. Showing his very new skills of the game, and he might come a long way. Like our pal Madman Fletcher has come a long way from his beginner runs that we so often show at the beginning of SpeedLore. But let's move to some actual speed runs. And the earliest speedrun that I can find on this level is this one by Mike Martin from December 1999. Let's take a look. That's some crazy bass music capture. You can see already he's shot to open that door, to lure the door open. He still needs the key card, though, to open those 2 doors. Now he's through this area. Let's see what he does here. So now he takes out the KF-7 and he shoots to lure a guard to open that door. That was a much better strategy. You can skip going into the whole console room. The console skip. And proceeds through the level. He's used a remote mine to self-boost. That's now a strategy in the game. Ooh, and look at this technique to destroy the tanks. Wow. 52 seconds Facility Agent. That was really, really cool. And there's a lot of interesting tech in that run already that we're seeing. Of course, the first one, like I said, is shooting right at the gate here to lure that door open. I mean, I remember reading game FAQs back at the time telling me how to get the invincibility cheat, offering that strategy. Shoot 7 times coming down the door, and coming down the stairs, and that door will be open. Press B to activate the security console. Pretty good stuff. Then when he gets here, he skips going into that room to activate that console, shoots to activate to get this door open. Remarkable. And then there's a self-boost here. I mean, this is pretty wise stuff for 1999. Pretty remarkable. And the tanks, he seems to blow up 4 tanks. There's 10 total, so there's 4 with 1 mine. There's another 4 with 1 mine, and then you'd think it'd be intuitive for him to throw the next mine like in between these two, like right here. But no, he's going to throw it on the outside. And the reason for that is because if he were to throw it here, where the explosion already is happening, it often disappears because it's so laggy. And so, like, learning this in 99 is... I'm impressed by Mike Martin here. Throws on the outside, takes out those 2. And then you have to wait a little bit of time for this for England James text. That is the last text before Objective B completed comes up. So that comes up, you wait 2 or 3 seconds, and you exit the stage, and we'll learn that timing really, really well later on. But you'll notice Objective B completed never comes up. So even Mike Martin in 1999 times the ending so that Objective B completed will complete in the fade out. Like it's completing now, in that 1 second of fade out. So that's pretty cool that even back then they knew that the objective could complete in the fade out and complete the mission. And Mike Martin got this as an Untied in 99, and it would stand for a few months until it was eventually lowered. And we don't really have too many runs of the next couple seconds cut to show. The next one we're going to show is all the way from 2001. This is Greg Lavery. And he would improve this as well. Let's see what he does here. Bunch of shots, same opening strategy. Gets the key card, strafes in here, activates the security door. Warps! Now he's warping through these doors. Uses a mine to self-boost there. That's pretty cool. Shoots a bunch of times. A stuck. Even a stuck. Gets through there cleanly. Let's see how much faster this is going to be. Another boost there. Now he's down to 3 mines. He's shooting a whole bunch of times here. Kind of warps through with the leg of the shots, which is interesting. Trevelyan came out to meet him. That's very interesting. That's what we've now called a good Trev. And times the ending. And gets a 49-second run. Pretty good stuff by Greg Lavery. They're 3 seconds faster. And I can't even really see where he had the 3 seconds faster. I mean, there was a very clear stuck that cost him like a full second. So like Mike Martin's run looks better, I would say. I can't even see the 3 seconds cut on this run, but I mean, really impressive stuff. And it might stem from when he enters this room, you can see Trevelyan come out to greet him, which is cool. So the text box comes up right away. And if we look at Mike Martin's 52, let's see when the text box comes up. Same thing. So with good Trevelyan there. We will talk more about Trevelyan's positioning throughout the night. And yeah, I mean, I have no idea how Lavery gained 3 seconds watching those 2 runs back to back, but he did. And very nice stuff by Lavery, getting this 49. We have talked about him before. Long-time professional poker player, and he seemed to kind of resent his time speedrunning. Maybe not. He talked, fairly about it in a poker documentary. And we talk about him more at length in Bunker 2 Double Agent, I think it was. SpeedLore episode. So pretty interesting and cool dude. Getting that Untied in 2001. And it would get tied immediately by the likes of Randy Buikema, Walter Jansen, and the top runners from that era. And the next run we'll show was not the Untied. He was actually the 5th person to get this. But this is our pal, Matthijs ten Ham, who would improve upon even the 49-second run. And let's take a look. We're now getting into late 02. So this 49, 48, these are decent times that are stacking up pretty well. And I expect we're going to see very similar strategies here. No self-boost through that tunnel, which is interesting. It was a good idea of Lavery to do that. but Mathice is going to opt not to do it. He self-boosts there, which is cool, and there. So 2 quick self-boosts there. Opens his door. Warps. So that's something pretty new. A good Trevelyan. Now he has 3 mines. He's going to chuck them. 1, 2, 3. And times the ending. And he is in there. And this is going to be a 48-second run by Mathice 10 Hom. If we can see it. Yep, 48. Pretty cool. Pretty good run. And let's take a look. Actually, I made this to sort of illustrate the early records on this level. So we can see this is how it apparently went down from 98 to 03 or so. You know, a lot of familiar names from lores. And, you know, every few months or year you would see someone improve the records. And a whole bunch of guys match the time because, you know, they weren't too optimized back then. And anyone decent with some effort could tie the records. But now is where I would say it really begins. The next one I'm going to show is by a legend, Wouter Jansen. And it's like, I almost feel like, you know, this was one of the, this is the record that I most associate with Facility Agent. It might be because, like, when I first found the Elite community, this was the record that had a video on the Speed Demos Archive page, which is still there to this day. You know, there's a list of all these old world record individual levels on Speed Demos Archive, a more or less defunct site, although the main page still does get updates, which is kind of crazy. And this run is still on that page from 2003. It hasn't been updated in that long. A remarkable speed run. That's when it was set, September 03, and this run is so remarkable that it has to go to our SpeedLore champion, Corey Meyer. This run's dedicated to you. I hope everyone enjoys it. Let's watch Wouter Jansen play Facility Agent in September 2003. And yes, it is a right ear run. I will have to correct this later on. The YouTube crew will enjoy a full ear experience. Nice boost. That boost is intelligent. Comes up the stairs. Probably going to boost right here. Yep. Another boost. And he might do something interesting here. I'm expecting he will. Throws a mine there. Doesn't warp, but boosts through the door and gets another boost as he's coming back down the stairs. Throws 2 mines now. It's been discovered that if you put those 2 mines in that exact position, you can complete the tank's objective. And now we have Facility Agent 47. That's pretty good run, pretty good time. Yeah, let's see. Here, I'll pull up the Speed Demos Archive link just for you guys. It's a fun. Look at this. Individual level runs of Agent. Facility 47, Wouter Jansen. Still on the Speed Demos Archive page. Which will probably never be updated. In 1,000 years, it might still say that, which is something crazy to think about. Yeah, amazing run, and it's like the classic sort of... It's the classic run on the level. And you would think, oh, Wouter... When you hear Wouter Jansen SpeedLore, you probably think, oh, coming up next is Brian Bosshart. But on this level, that wouldn't be the case. It would actually be Graham Morris who tied the 47 next. And let's just watch his run and see what we can glean out of it. Cleanly opens the doors, gets the key card, activates the console, warps through. I expect a mine boost. Very nice. Warps. Starts shooting, and now this is like a standard. This is like how you know, where you boost, where you shoot. This has now like become the form of speedrunning Facility Agent. You know, a sort of standard strategy is now emerged in the game. Plants the 2 mines there, So he waited at a bit of a different spot to end the mission. I feel like he waited a bit long. I wonder if that could have been 46. It was a solid run. It felt like he waited longer than Wouter. He was waiting in a different spot, so it's hard for me to gauge, but... yeah, there you go, Graham Morris. He was like a top 3 runner from that time. So let's talk about Trevelyan, shall we? On all these runs, we've had good Trev. He's been out towards the stairs. As soon as you bounce down the stairs, he sees you, he talks to you. It's good stuff. But here's an example of a bad Trev. So we're going to warp the stairs. And now look, Trev is inside the tanks. This is a really, really bad Trevelyan. Look, he's over here. What's he doing in there? It's impossible to blow the tanks up quickly and get out of there. You know, what's he doing? And so on this run, I just blow him up and fail the mission. But you can see he's inside the tanks. You'd have to wait for him, pull him right out, and basically you lose your world record run. There's no possible way to get a world record with a bad Trev. I mean, for one, he doesn't even start talking to you till like a second later. So right there is the run's over when talking about a world record speedrun. And we still don't have an understanding of what causes a good or bad Trev. A lot of stuff in the game, it's caused by, like, you know, when you start the mission or when you leave an area on the mission, the byte of data is given like a value between 0 and 255, and according to that byte, you know, that's what tells you what element of RNG you're going to get. That is true for the position of Dr. Doak on this mission on Secret and Double Agent. But a bad Trev or good Trev is sort of a combination of multiple things, and we don't really have a solid explanation for it. We can't get them consistently, and we don't know exactly what causes it. And if we do, it's not something that's replicable during our speedruns. You just kind of have to hope you get a good Trev, and most of the time you don't. It's probably much less than 50%. Some people have terrible luck, and it's like less than 10% good Trevs, and we'll kind of witness more of that later on through the night. Let's take a look here at the past records. So if we go to January 1, 2005, we can see Wouter, Graham, and Boss have 47. And that's it. 57 on Secret and Double Agent. And the level has traditionally been 10 seconds slower on Secret and Double O. You have to talk to Doak, you have to pause fully, you have to wait for the decoder door to open. So 10 seconds is roughly what that costs. How much does a bad Trev specifically cost you? I mean, for me, it would cost me like 5 seconds. Some guys, and you'll see later, some guys it only cost them about 1 second, maybe even a little bit less. Like, because I would play with 16:9 screen for so long, Trev would often like be inside the tanks. Usually he's like a few tiles closer to you, so it's not quite as bad. But it costs you, a full second is probably fair. Now, around this time, there was some interesting stuff going on in Facility. Here's a forum post from Alex back then in July 05. Breaking news on the Facility not saving time glitch. So, there's a weird glitch. You know what? I should show the video first. I should show a video of the glitch first. Let's do that. So check this out. Let's watch this run. It's by Corey Francis, another new player. He's going to get to the end of the mission. He's going to blow up the tanks. He's going to exit the mission. And now, no cutscene plays. But the mission status says completed. And the time says 55. His best time is 59. Now, you'll know in this game, if you get a new personal record, you beat a level in a new time, the best time always saves. So why does it say completed and the best time didn't save? And even stranger to this, as we'll see in a second here, we're going to click along the screen and it's going to advance to runway. So clearly the game recognizes that the level was beaten, but it like doesn't fully recognize it. And it took us a long time to understand why or what this was all about. Corey Metalhead Francis in SpeedLore, it's true. Yeah, so this like really threw us off for a long time, because what if someone got the world record 47 seconds like this? Would it count or would it not count? And my theory was always that, well, the mission status says completed, and it gives you a time that you completed the mission in, right? So mission status completed, that's clear as day, and it was completed in 55 seconds, that's clear as day. So is this simply a glitch in that the game doesn't save your best time? That could be it. What was later determined many, many years later, dude, it was like black magic or witchcraft at the time. We didn't understand it, but years later, it was discovered that if you complete an objective on the final frame of the fade out, so like, you know, here, if the objective completes there, basically, then you will get a time not saved. It'll read objectives complete, but the best time won't save. And so this can happen on a number of levels. It can happen on Control, though it's really, really rare. It can happen on Frigate, although it's really, really rare. It's theorized it could happen on Jungle, although I don't think we've ever seen it happen on Jungle, but it probably could. And I mean, who knows, maybe some other levels, if you did some trollery and detonated an objective later on, it could happen. But Facility, you have two objectives that might complete in the last frame. For one, the Rendezvous with 006 could complete very late if you are waiting for Objective B. You're timing it perfectly, so you exit right as Objective B completes, you know? It's something like 3 seconds after that last message comes up is when Objective B completed comes up on screen. And so if you time that perfectly to the frame, you could get the time not save glitch. And destroy all tanks and bottling room, well, if they're destroyed at the last frame, that could also cause the time not save glitch. And on this run, he detonates really, really late. So I think that might be what caused it. Now, to further complicate things, it's not just if the objective completes in the last frame. It's also if an objective fails on the last frame. So it's unlikely this happened on this run. But let's say you had a bad Trevelyan position. It's possible he could die from the explosion on the last frame. And that would also trigger the objective, the mission status completed, but no time saved. And so it is a bit controversial to allow these times. It used to be a lot more so. But nowadays it's like still kind of is. On some levels like Frigate, it's impossible for an objective to fail in the last frame. Because the hostages are running around, they're only going to ever complete in the last frame, not die and fail. But on this level, it could be 006 dying, thus failing on the last frame. So a strange thing, a bit of controversy. Most of the runs you'll see today, it's certainly they completed for sure, but a crazy glitch we're going to see come up a lot throughout the night. And yeah, this was how Alex described it back then. He says, you know, I experienced this doing an agent race where I thought I failed Fact 49, no cinema came up. It said it was completed, went to runway, it never said best time. So we didn't know what was causing this. You know, Trent had a 57 secret agent where this took place, although I couldn't find the video. And pretty much everyone had an experience with it, but no one knew what caused it. And, you know, Boss would later get this on Runway 00 Agent, that's right. And he would post like, oh, I got this time, 30, I got a new Untied, but time not saved, should I count it? And Boss didn't want to count it. And Boss would eventually dupe the time just for the sake of feeling better about it, I suppose. Because there is a ton to be said about, like, when you get a new PB, you want it to reflect in your best time. You want to turn on your cartridge and be able to see that best time every time. So on this run, poor Corey here, he can't see his 55 reflected on the cartridge, although we have this video to prove he got it. So it's one of those things where it's like, it counts, but it just feels bad to get a timeout save run. Quite a crazy glitch. And yeah, I mean, some guys would get a new record on facility, it would be timeout saved, and they would just kind of feel mediocre, you'd feel melancholy. It wasn't quite as cool as getting a time saved record, like in all the other stages. But that's the nature of the game, that's life. It could be worse, and there are a lot of worse things in speedrunning, I would say. A lot of more annoying glitches and more terrible things to do. Alright, let's look at the records now in August 06. And we can see that now 10 people have 47. Some familiar names starting to roll in. Ilu, myself, Trent, Alex, Mouser, Chervone, Ace. Look at I got that Untied on Secret Agents, pretty cool. Now a lot of Untieds are rolling in, and odds are 46 is possible. Well, who would get 46 but a very strange man? On September 8th, 2006, a new-ish speedrunner, Leonardo Santos of Brazil, would get this speedrun. Nice boost. I imagine this will look just like the 47s. Almost is stuck there. He does the double boost there. Good Trev. Places the two mines. Detonate. Waits a couple, times ending right. .46 agent. A remarkable speedrun by Leonardo Santos. And this was, like, quite shocking that a new player, unknown guy, got an Untied. I mean, at this point, you're seeing Untieds by Boss and Ilu and Chervone. And you're starting to see some from Ace and myself, but this guy Santos, it was a shock, especially because he was, there is obviously a bit of a language barrier there, and so he never really interacted that much with the community, so you can never get too good of a read on the guy. And it was surprising to see this 46, and facility would always be one of his strong suits, for sure. There was some much later on, like we're talking 8 years later, 6 years later, it was noticed that he was posting in Brazilian about overclocking your N64 on some, like, obscure Brazilian N64 forum. And we had this plan. I remember Kara Thorne, he makes a lot of music for my videos lately. He had this plan to, like, slowly lure him into talking about it over time by, like, by befriending him and slowly being like, hey, like, do you know anything about overclock your N64? Like, what do you know? And hoping to, like, eventually get a confession out of him. And I just kind of ruined it by, like, outright accusing him of doing it at the time. And he just, like, pretty much disappeared from the community and never talked again. So did I mess it up? Probably. I probably screwed it up. And we'll never know if his runs were overclocked or not. Although there really is no evidence to suggest it outside of him posting on a forum about it, which is, I mean, it's not great evidence, but it's not terrible either. And I don't want to buy into any kind of stereotype about Brazilian gamers or anything, of course, but it does make you wonder. This guy who, like, wasn't necessarily a top player with everyone else. He wasn't an Ace or an Ilu or a Boss, and he was getting this Untied only on facility. it's like one of those things you don't know. It's like, could he have been doing something sketchy, or could he have just been a specialist on facility? It's really hard to know, and so I think it's fair to give the entire context there. We have seen a lot of people who are specialists on one level who excelled and have done amazing, but people who don't talk much in the community always kind of have more suspicion cast on them. In his case, there was a language barrier, so it kind of accounts for that. And it's just kind of an endless seesaw of, like, legit, unlegit, and we'll never know. But 46 was a good run regardless. Even if it was, like, overclocked. Which, again, we don't know. We have no solid evidence for. It wasn't, like, that's the thing, it wasn't overclocked so much that it was free. He still had to go out there and get the 46. And, was still a good run, clearly. It was still the best run we've seen so far. So, good stuff from Leonardo Santos, that's for sure. Talented on facility. Let's take a look at the rankings not too much later. So to start 07, you can see again, right? He had the 46. Ace tied it. I tied it. On Secret Agent was 55, Ace and Santos. On 00 Agent, this is a very rare time. Santos, myself, Ace, and Dan Cervone. That's like probably the only time that's ever occurred. So Santos is still really good at facility. I'll show my facility 46 only because I remember Rutsu really liked this run. It was like November 06, and it was the run I think that put me into 3rd place, which is pretty cool. Probably just a similar thing. I mean, looks pretty clean. I noticed in the console room, instead of like Lavery did this kind of spinorama, which I'd been doing for a while, but I kind of bounced in and out and left strafe, which was much better. I did notice that Holly wasn't super optimal though, but we're boosting now. We're doing 1 boost in the early hall, 1 boost in the labs, and then the 2 boosts down the stairs. Get a good Trev. And, hey, watch what happens here. Detonate, comes up, run to the end, open the door, in. No cutscene. 46. Time not saved. But we had to determine at this time that these would count on the rankings. And so it counted and put me into 3rd place, passing the legendary Wilder Jansen. And only behind Boston and Lou, so that was pretty cool. I was going to point out here that this was unoptimal for sure. Instead of staying in all right strafe, I switched to left and then back to right. That's certainly far from optimal. I could have stayed all in right strafe, but like back then we're not thinking to optimize every single little thing. Yeah, filmed in Rutsu Vision on like, a micro pixel camera that had like probably had like a 32 megabyte SD card. I'm not joking. And that's how it was filmed back then. But it did the trick. And I got 46 with it. It was a nice run. One of Rutsu's favorite runs of mine early on. And that was cool stuff. Ilu would tie this in early 07, and Boss would tie it part through the year. And Boss would continue to play Facility Agent. This was around the time when Boss was starting to dip off a ton. He had been dominant for 3 years. But now Ilu and Clemens and Ace are chasing him down. And there were a few runs in mid 07 that Boss really wanted to get to kind of show he was still killing it. He was still capable. He was still a god gamer. And this was one of those runs. And this run, in fact, is so truly remarkable. It can only be dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, 4-Day Bender. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Enjoy this amazing run by Brian Bosshart in July 2007. This is a good one. cutscene plays. Facility Agent 45 seconds. This time was mad, honestly. This was a really, really good speedrun. And I remember thinking like 45 is like too good for me to get. Like, boss has inched his way above me once again. He's shown me up as a player. Only the top AAA tier players can get this time. And the things he did, there's a couple things he did differently that are very, very smart. So he boosted twice in this hallway, once there and once straight looking down. He did that because he claimed that killing those guards reduced lag in the labs later on. And whether it's 100% true or not is, I mean, if he felt it was significant enough for him. Then he boosts again here. So now he's done 3 boosts already. Now he only has 2 mines left. You need 2 mines for the tanks. So now he can't do the mine there. He warps it instead. Which, to be honest, is probably faster anyways. It was like kind of probably foolish that we weren't warping that in the past. And we were instead waiting for it to open and then double boosting down. Warping it. We probably underestimated how much warps save. 45 seconds on Facility Agent. Great run by Boss and a great Untied. And Ace was, trying to play quickly. Ace would come along and try some cool things. Check out this interesting starting technique Ace came up with in 2007 to try to tie Boss's 45. Throws a mine, boosts through the guard, activates the console, and gets a boost on the way out. That was pretty cool. And I actually don't know why this never caught on, but it wouldn't catch on. Boost. Console. Boost. Pretty cool stuff, eh? Never seemed to catch on for one reason or another, but Ace would keep playing Facility Agent and eventually get this run in November of that year. And again, this is a right ear only, but we'll repair it. Gets the B card, goes in there to shoot. See, the guard's in the way, so you have to die in the explosion, which might not have been super consistent, but... So there's Ace's 2... I mean, that second boost didn't even look very effective. Beautiful run. Another nice boost. A back boost. Warp. Good Trev. And keep in mind, this would have been on the PAL console, which is more laggy, so unoptimal. And yet Ace still got this run on PAL. "45 seconds, tying Boss's run, pretty amazing. The weird thing about PAL, and Ace only told me this recently, is that PAL and Japanese cannot get the time not saved glitch. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, it kind of makes sense on PAL because there's fewer frames. It runs 25 frames per second instead of 30. So maybe it has to be like the 29 out of 30th frame of fade out, the very final frame of fade out to get the time not saved. And so like there's fewer frames on PAL, and so like it's maybe like the sixth of a frame difference makes it not able to get that frame completion to activate the timeout save glitch. But then doesn't make sense on Japanese because it runs in the 30 frames per second like English NTSC. But Japanese is laggier, so it acts like PAL in some ways. And it was crazy stuff, and I don't know exactly how to explain it. But it's true. It's true. No timeout save on PAL. But this run was, and it's pretty impressive. Only a couple weeks later now, Clemens would show up, and I mean, how many times have we seen Clemens, go for a record and get it only weeks or days after Ace did? and this is the first of many times. Clemens was actually in chat earlier, and he was saying how, like, he never had much of a history on Facility Agent. It was one of his less impactful levels. But this is going to be a very smooth run. Nice warps. You know, Clemens has an untied on most levels, but on Facility Agent, no. And on Facility, Sig and Double O Agent, only one each. But this is, you know, pretty much the same run as Boss, with the kind of earlier mine boosts in the hall with 3 guards. Runs out here, detonates, times the ending correctly. And if you notice that it was objective C completed, so the tanks blew up. You can see it on screen. And then B completes in the fade. And this will indeed be a Facility Agent 45 seconds. A very nice run. So here we are now, much, much later, in fact, in March 2010. So those runs you saw were from 07. In a whole 2.5 more years, only Leonardo Santos and Mark Rutsu have been able to match 45 seconds. Pretty crazy. That it's, I mean, like I said, when Boss's 45 first was revealed, I was like, man, that is a good time. I don't think I can tie it. And it shows that 3 years later, only these 5 have tied it. You know, the 4 best players at the time, plus Santos, the facility specialist. And we can see 54 is now done on Sig and Double Agent. So now we're within 9 seconds of Agent. Does this imply maybe 44 is possible? It might. It might. Let's just watch Santos's 45 real quick. This is actually a... Santos actually had multiple 45s, apparently. So this was his second 45. Found this one lying around on his YouTube. And it'll probably be a very similar run to Boss and Clemens's 45s. Mine on the door, blow it up. Another boost through there, warp, shoot to get through here. So he's kind of in left strafe, which is interesting. That was a pretty cool warp. That's a tough warp to do in left strafe. People don't really do that anymore in left strafe. Probably because it's much easier in right, and you might as well just do it in the easier warp. But clearly he was trying to maintain full speed and avoid changing strafe as much as possible. Blows up the mines, and he's in. Cinema comes up, and it's Facility Agent 45. Pretty good stuff. Let's see if we can find Mark's 45 here. Let's see. Mark 45, watch on YouTube. Oh, video unavailable. Alright, poor Mark. It's okay. I think we'll see more of Mark later on. Alright. Time would carry on. And look, 45 is pretty good. 5 ties. Top players with ties. It certainly is not begging to be untied. I mean, look, there's other records. You know, Dam has more ties. Runway, Bunker 1, Bunker 2, Streets, Caverns. A lot of times are more tied than Facility Agent. But this means nothing to our friend Perfect Ace. Perfect Ace now has acquired a NTSC console a couple years ago. He's going to try it out in Facility. This run is historic and remarkable and so amazing that it must be dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Mr. Moxie, longtime supporter. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon, Mr. Moxie. And let's enjoy this crazy run by Perfect Ace in 2010. Gotta love that vintage rolling VHS feature from, you know, difficult to record NTSC footage in a PAL region. I imagine this run's just going to be really, really insane. Like, Ace is going to make up... See, just 2 better boosts there. warping in. Oh, he sort of missed the warp but got through. That's the thing with Ace, is like he can lose time but like avoid losing as much time as anyone else would lose. Beautiful warp through there. Good Trev, throws the mine down, throws the second mine down, detonates. That looked kind of quick. Cinema didn't come up. Time not saved, 44 seconds. Wow. Perfect ace, unties 44. Time not saved level. That's pretty crazy. And, of course, lo and behold, he was in a race with Clemens to get the 44. And what's interesting is, like, again, the times would count on the rankings, but it felt less cool. Like, you want to see best time 44. And so Ace was never, like, super, super thrilled with it. I mean, he was, because it's an amazing run, but again, it feels like a little bit less perfect than the run of your dreams. When you get an amazing Untied record, you're hoping it's like this magical moment. And getting a time not saved does take away from it slightly. 2 days later, Clemens would get this run. A beautiful left ear run. And I'm sure this is pretty much the same thing. Like, beautiful boost, beautiful boost. Warp. Nice shooting. Warp. That was a beautiful warp. This is a better run now. Beautiful boost. The guard's there. Oh, beautiful strafing. Warp. Good Trev. Throws the mine. Throws the mine. Detonates. Times the ending. He closed the door on himself, but he activated the end zone anyways. The loading zone. 44 seconds. Time saved. So even though Ace would beat Clemens to 44, Clemens would get the first 44 with time saved, which is pretty cool. And Ace would eventually dupe 44, get time saved, but it is kind of cool how in this particular instance of their rivalry, Clemens, even though he was beat, kind of got like a bit of the last laugh, sort of. Yeah, closing the door himself was like an accident. Clemens must have been like mashing B. And so he dipped over that threshold just enough to get to the loading zone. And then the cutscene thinks the door's always going to be open. So in the cutscene, the doors are open, even though they're not, really. Funny stuff. Yep. Let's take a look at the rankings in December 2010. Both of those runs were, of course, in May 2010. So now we're seeing, I mean, this is now the DCRI era. Pretty insane. Look at this stuff. Man, I'm just looking at those were the days when Streets 155s were that uncommon. But I mean, mostly DCRI. A bit of MR coming in as well. Wow, what a time to be playing GoldenEye. And again, we can see 53 on Secret and Double Agent. So at this point, we're thinking, like, you know what? Maybe the standard difference between Agent and Secret Agent is only 9 seconds. And maybe back in the day, in the Wouter era, we kind of overrated it. The players were less skilled back then, so maybe Secret and Double Agent slowed them down a little bit more than they should have. Maybe a 44 pace run on Agent is more like a 53 on Secret. I think even it might be more like a 52. I think the difference is actually more like 8.5 seconds type of thing. Not quite 9. So it's like those are probably high 44s. So plus 8.5. We're still looking at mid 53s. But should the boys, Ace and Clemens, be able to get down to like 44.1, 52 might become on the radar over time. But yeah, there you go. Let's take a look at the total time. 1:13:13 in December 2010, and this one was March 2010. So 26 seconds cut off there, which is Pretty impressive. And then from 07, so that's what, okay, this is 4 full years later. You know, 7 were 1:15:37. You know, basically 4 full years later, 1:13:13. So, yeah, 2.5 minutes. Pretty cool stuff. About a year later, of course, they'd be joined by, well, who could this be, guys? Yes, a classic Mark Rutsu vision, and I had to show it, so let's take a look. The audio didn't start for like 4 seconds into the run. Yeah, this is like vintage Mark Rutsu. Insane warp. Nice warp. Good Trev. One mine. Was that a boost? What? That is, that is so bizarre.
Only 44, pretty sweet. I was pretty thrilled about it.
Good old wholesome Mark. All of Rutsu's runs look like they were recovered from a crashed airplane's black box. Yeah, that's honestly true. It's a really well put. Yeah, there's something we don't like talk about with Mark that much. But for a while he was using this weird thing. It was called an NTSC PAL converter. It looked sort of, let's see, yeah, it looked like this. Open image. Ultra Universal Converter. Enable you to play US or Japanese games on PAL. Insert the so you have to see, it's like this black part would go into the cartridge and you would have one PAL game and then your NTSC game. And you could play NTSC on a PAL console. And there was some really, really weird things. Like, Ilu studied a lot. He played, like, the ending cutscene of Mario 64 on Converter. And not converted, just NTSC. And it was like, it would play 1 second faster per minute on the converted version. So for a while we were like, is Mark gaining time from the converter? And we realized he was definitely gaining time in time, like real time. He was gaining time, but we could never like determine the in-game time if he was gaining time or not. And so it does add like a very, very tiny asterisk around like his Facility 44 or Damn 00155 or his times he set with the converter. PAL console, NTSC cartridge. And we don't know all the effects, and it might be impossible to study, because like, where are you going to find an emulator that can study all this in detail? So yeah, interesting stuff with the converter there. Let's take a look. So December 2012, we're a full year later now, and again, 44, there's the Mark Rutsu. Nobody's a match, the 53s. Mark now has some Untieds. Now it's like a full three-way battle. Clemens, Ace, and Mark. You know, Mark with some sick Untieds, Train, Streets, Damn. Clemens and Ace have their stuff. Ace was kind of low on Untieds at this time. He had kind of fallen off he wasn't too active this year, nor was I. I think only Clemens and Mark got Untieds this year, 2012. So yeah, there you go. Actually, that's not true about 2012, because of what I'm about to show next. But this was mostly the Clem Mark era, and Ace was just holding on his past amazing records were still lasting. So here's a post from Henrik, July 2011, around this time. Henrik says this. This is probably very old, but I'll mention it anyways. I noticed on Facility that in the long tunnel with the 3 guards, it might be possible to shoot around 6 KF7 ammo a bit before the door, and alert a guard in the T-junction to open the second door for you. Probably requires some cinema timing. I'm guessing it won't work at all because the first door warp would be messed up. Guard not fast enough. Who knows? Well, who knows? Henrik would much later post this run with this strategy. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what he was describing. Here we go. Here we go. 12 bullets. Warp. That door's open. Warp. Two boosts there. .45 seconds, not the world record, but I mean a pretty good time. And yeah, he obviously missed the first mine boost. He I guess he wasn't like fully dedicated to the strategy yet, so he threw it there instinctually, since that's where you often would to get the boost on the 44s that we've seen. Then he's like, okay, let's go for it. This run seems good enough. And it was discovered that like you had to be fast enough to get that door open. You had to be on like the equivalent of 45 pace. But he could have just not thrown that mine, and he could have had another mine to boost with. If there's room, or maybe boosted there like we saw early on, get the 2 boosts down the stairs. So it opens up a lot of possibilities now that we've seen that this clearly works. Henrik, of course, I mean, nowadays he's one of the go-to guys to come up with new strategies. Back then he was as well, but it was kind of less certain. When he brought up something, when he had an idea, would this save time or not, it was kind of less, you know, who knows. But this clearly works. Now, Ace would use this. And he told me, I talked to him about this level the other night, and Ace told me that he thinks he came up with this strategy independently of Henrik. Like, he was kind of inactive in 2012, as many of us were. Then Twitch came along, and everyone started streaming, and so did Ace. And Ace didn't know about this discussion. This run I just showed is actually from 2014. So the idea of shooting in that hallway to get the door open was not very well fleshed out. It was just in forum posts, no videos. So whether Ace actually did independently come up with it, or whether maybe he read it in the past and was in the back of his mind, and then it came out as he played the level, you know, we don't really know, but the thing is, he did play the level with this strategy. And he would get some remarkable speedruns. And these speedruns are, in fact, so remarkable, my friends. They can only be dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Thurvin. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon, Thurvin. What a legend. Enjoy this remarkable speedrun. December 2012. There's the shots. Miss the warp. Three boosts. A bad Trev! So look how he takes out the tanks. He only has 2 mines. Completed 44. He duped the world record with a bad Trev. Unbelievable. And I mean, you can see how he deals with the bad Trev. Because he can't just throw the mines and detonate. Because Trev would die. You can see Trevelyan's like chilling over there. Let's see. He's right here. You can barely see. If he blew the tanks right away, Trev would just die. And there's not enough time now. Like, since Objective B, the rendezvous with Trevelyan, is set on a timer from when you first talk to him, there's not enough time to complete the tanks blowing up, since the explosions take a couple seconds. If he were to do the normal 2-mine strategy, so he has to do this strategy, blow 2 manually with the KF7, blow the other 8, like, in a fraction of a second. Trevelyan, now you've seen him, he starts to walk away from the tanks, he blows the mines, and then exits in perfect timing. And gets 44. Imagine that. Something that he lost a full second on Trev, and yet he dupes the record, and on the very next run, he got this run. Warp. Boost, boost, boost. Warp. Good, Trev. Facility Agent, 43 seconds. That is a truly remarkable speedrun. Pure insanity. Check this out. Pay attention to where the music is on. His first run, I think, was a little bit faster. There's a very noticeable, like, da-da-da-da sound right here. So the last note of that was like, as he was passing this sort of jut in the wall. Like right there is where he is. Let's find like bosses 45 and see where that sound is. Well, I guess we can't compare the sound yet. But I'm sure we'll notice it later on. I'm sure we'll find some runs to compare to later on, but it's certain that Henrik's strategy, getting that door open, does save a substantial amount of time. You know, not like over a second, but it saves a good amount of time. And the thing is, in order for the guard to be in the right spot, you have to be basically on a 45 pace run to begin with, which means only the better players can take advantage of saving another second. Kind of like a, you know, the rich get richer type of thing in GoldenEye. It's really one of the only examples of it. But yeah, I mean, Ace took advantage of it and got this 43-second run. Really, really remarkable, especially when we look at the rankings. You know, here we are, December 21, 2012, the day the world was supposed to end. And it did not end. And Ace played on and got 43. Really unexpected, because only 3 people had 44. Why was Ace even going for 43? It's pretty incredible. When you're lowering Untied records that like are uncommon and hard to begin with, you imagine someone getting Archives 53 at this point in time. It would just be like, what are you doing? It's not that logjam of a record. Unbelievable. That is a surely remarkable speedrun. So Ace, at this time, would get 43 seconds. Unbelievable run. And, yeah, this was late December 2012. I think December 27? Yep. And only 6 days after the world was supposed to end. But it decided, no, we cannot end yet. We have to watch Ace play Facility Agent. And so we're all still here today. Around the time, though, late 2012, is when people started streaming, right? Remember? Siglemic's amazing Mario 64 runs got everyone in the elite, at least, interested in speedrunning again and streaming. And it was mostly Ace and Mark and myself streaming at the time. A little bit of a Lou. Everyone was at least attempting it. Man, it was such like a cozy time, man. Because it was like, man, I almost think of like Instagram the same way. You know, it's like Instagram nowadays. When you post on Instagram, it's like a produced. You take a photo shoot, a planned photo shoot. If you're some model, you take a whole bunch of shots. You send it to a photo editor. He edits it up. You post to a group chat. Come up with the best caption. All this process for one post. Back in 2012 on Instagram, you would take a picture of like a dirty table at the end of a night of partying and post it. And, like, you wouldn't care that it got 2 likes. You would post like an unattractive, unedited shot of like a terribly lit sunset or a tree, and that was your Instagram post. Like, you didn't care. And nowadays, like, you would never in a million years think about posting such things. And it was kind of the same on Twitch. We would just stream our runs, and like, we didn't care. And now it's like everything on Twitch has to be like this super produced epic journey. Like, man, I just miss the olden days, guys. I really do. I miss the way it used to be. I miss 2012. It was good back then. We just turned on our streams and played GoldenEye, and we knew we were gonna get like 20 viewers. We were gonna get everyone in the community, and that was it. And that was good enough. That was fun enough. That was all we needed. One of these streams was this one. I mean, look at this stream, guys. Look at it. I have a hyperlink typed out on my stream with a hashtag Trev please. Remember hashtags? At this point, I hadn't gotten too many PBs. I just returned to the game. I hadn't played in about 2 years. And I was trying to get back into it. I was trying to climb back in. Things were interesting. You know, the whole Henning controversy was just kind of blowing up. We weren't sure if he was going to get banned yet or not. And I had got a few PBs in this time. A few cool things. Alex Anderson just sent me a Japanese cartridge. I was playing on that. I was having a fun time. Improving my Aztec 00 and Caverns 00, but I was slowly climbing back into, like, the ranking I used to hold. I think at this point I was 8th, and I was a few points behind Ilari Pekala. And I needed... My time on Facility was slowing down. I was kind of falling off the paces now. Ace had 43, I had 46 still. Remember that 46? And I needed to get 45. And I could pass Illu for the first time ever. I could take back... I think it was 5th place. I could take back 5th place. And on that fateful night in January 2013, this is what took place in the most rudimentary stream I've ever had. About chugging the cokes, look at that. A bit of a weird strafe choice there, but You can hear the music tone I was talking about there.
This is not it.
It's not it. What a crazy, wow, unbelievable. And I just went off and, yeah. Let's see.
Thank God.
Oh, here we go.
I want to thank God. I want to thank Inkosi for being a great person and telling me the truth and encouraging me always. And I want to thank Clemens for giving me good advice on how to do some things properly. And I don't know what else to say. That was amazing. Truly, this is amazing. You know, for the first time now in my career, I've passed Ilari Pikala, and it's amazing. This is it. It's amazing.
Beautiful. We did it, boys. We got Facility Agent 45, a full 2 seconds off the pace of the world record, but hey, good enough to take back 5th place and pass Ilu. Good times. And I mean, I tried to point out a music cue on Aces 43. You'll be able to hear it here. Listen to the dut-dut-dut-dut. So I'm like right there. Ilu was like, or Ace, sorry, was all the way over here. It's pretty insane. I mean, he's a full like 1.5 seconds ahead there, and then I guess he made up time on the ending as well. So I mean, you can see how fast Ace's 43 is in comparison to my 45 with the same strategy, and 45 is about the slowest possible time that you can make that door open cycle. But yeah, what a time. And I mean, you can hear me at the end of this thanking Mark and Clemens, and like I said, it was such a cozy time back then. It was, yeah, good times. That is for sure. But hey, Ace would get his beautiful 43-second speedrun, and it would be a very, very beautiful, very good speedrun for a long time. It would take about a year before it would face a challenger. And who would that challenger be but Mark Rutsu? Let's take a look. Insane warp. Dark and cozy, yeah. Oh, a bit of a screw-up warp there. Was like imperfect, for sure. Facility Agent 43, pretty good run by Mark Rutsu. He would match Ace's Mark. Match Ace's Mark, yep. And you know what? 43 became, it was like a very good time, obviously. But a number of people would now get it over the next few years. And I'm just going to show every single 43 that ever happened. Mark's here was in October 2013. 2 months later in December 2013. Our pal Luke Sklarz, who was now really rising the ranks fast, would also join the club at Facility Agent 43. And Luke was another one of those guys who came back to the game with the revival of speedrunning on Twitch. It kind of is crazy to think how different things would be if Twitch never happened. Like, would the game have died? I'm sure there would always have been a small community still like keeping it active, but you know, Luke probably never would have got back involved, and many guys would not have got back involved. But he did, and he got this amazing run on his way to being the GoldenEye champion. Another time not saved. Perfectly timed ending. Look at this. Time not saved. I mean, yeah, you would definitely be able to hear if Trevelyan died. You remember how I mentioned earlier it can be sometimes if it fails on the last frame, you can get a time not saved. But the audio was clear enough there where you could be able to hear the if Trev died or not, and he definitely did not die there. So a legitimate 43. Mission status completed. Time 43. Facility Agent 43. Beautiful run. Another guy who, in the Twitch era, joined GoldenEye and started playing and rising the ranks quickly was this man, Daniel Coelho. And his run here, he's talking to Ryan Cook on Mumble, I guess it was back then. So let's have a listen.
And Clemens, the first time I met Clemens, my agent PR was 47, and he trolled my cart and got a 46 in like, I don't know, in like the first 15 minutes that I had known him.
It's pretty troll. To play on someone's name file and then get a 46.
Yeah, and then like also in the first session that I saw him play, he got a Cradle 35, and my PR was like 37 or 36 at the time. And then he got Jungle 53, and then he got a Bunker 2 24, and it was the second one that he ever got ever. And he like, yeah, Clemens, if you're in chat, you remember this, right? That first meet. But yeah, pretty crazy times. And
yeah.
Another thing that's like weird is, and super cool, I got 49 Surface 2 agent in front of Clemens. It was at a meet, and you know, he was helping me with the mine throw, and a great coach to have by, and got 49. And then, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years later,
there he is to help you with 48.
And he's there too. Yeah.
The song is very upbeat. I like it.
I like thinking about those good memories. Dude, I think I might play some S2 Secret Agent. And I'm gonna put on 2.2. And also, that'll be good for my thumb too, from that train sesh earlier.
Yeah, it's a nice chill level, dude. I've been playing around with it a little bit, trying to like skip the strap down and everything. And, yeah, it's kind of like the level I like to play when I'm just watching streams and just mindlessly getting grenades.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, I do that and, you know, be on Mumble or watch some Netflix.
Yeah,
And,
I actually
yeah.
don't mind how like stupid it is because you can just do other things while you're playing it.
Mm-hmm. And then like once it happens, it's like such a longer period of time where you got to be like, okay, this is the clutchness, part. And I like that feeling, like Surface 2 Double Agent is the level where that applies the most. After you get a nade in the first cam, it's like, the feeling of, all right, let's clutch it, like right off the bat, the very hardest part, by far the most inconsistent part of the level is at the start.
I got it. I think I got it, Cook. I think I got it. I think I got it, dude. Yes! Yes!
Yes!
Oh my god, dude. Is this it? Oh my god, yes, dude, you got it! Holy shit, dude.
That was
Holy yeah, dude!
Oh my.
Oh my god. Fucking congratulations, dude. High five, man.
Thank you, dude.
Oh my god, that is so rad. You fucking got it.
I like how
Awesome.
you're telling me just gotta be clutch, and I'm just like, okay, just be clutch, and I'm running through the labs.
Dude, this is amazing.
Oh
this
my God.
is amazing.
That run was so insane too. That was such a good run. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't mess with the mines. I thought I did. Oh my God, I did
So
it.
good.
I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah, it's true. Wotus was a bit slow at the mines, and it doesn't matter because the time is fixed from when Trevelyan first speaks to you. But it's like when your heart's racing and you're in that moment, something as simple as taking a quarter of a second too long to throw that first mine in that perfect spot can throw off the whole thing, and then you could botch the timing of the ending and whatnot. But he nailed it, 43, and that quote at the end, I remember there being old threads in the forums most epic Eliter quote, most influential quote in Elite history, and it's I got it, Cook. It was a quote heard around the GoldenEye world. That's for sure. Yeah, cool run. And I mean, Luke was in chat talking about how this makes it feel nostalgic. I mean, it's hard to believe this is more than 4.5 years ago. It does kind of feel like just yesterday, which is crazy. This would have been just after AGQ 2015. So, amazing speedrun. And yeah, it feels like this whole episode's kind of nostalgic in a lot of ways. With just, yeah, good old times, for sure. Remarkable. Well, it would be about a year, more than a year until the next 43. And it would be our pal, David Clemens. I know nothing about this run. Let's just watch and see what happens.
Give this woman a shield. What's up, Alex?
Hardly any in-game audio. You can hear the shots, but no music. This is a good run, man. This is a really good run. This is super fast. Oh my god, this run is amazing.
Got it! Got 43, dude. I got it. Got it, dude. Woo! Yeah! Holy shit. What a rush. What a rush, dude. I want to take my shirt off. Yeah, dude. Yeah!
Alright, we got to, we gotta pause it there. Oh man, hilarious. Pretty confident that he just called. Yeah, he saw the good Trev and he's like, got it. I mean, that's a pro. He knew he got it, and he got it. Facility 43. And Clemens is a pretty good speedrunner. You know, this was actually 3 years after my run. Hard to believe, 3 full years. But it does kind of feel like the same era. I mean, it's because you could. It's because back then you could do that. Like, you could do that. Now it's no more. Right? This is, we talked about the nostalgia of you know, different times. That's for sure. But hey, 43 seconds, a good run by Clemens. He would now be the, was it 5th person to get it? Yeah, pretty good stuff. And the live reactions would continue on people getting 43. We all know our pal Ryan Lockwood is a competent GoldenEye player, never a top 10 player, but certainly has top 10 potential on many levels. He played for Facility 43 for a very, 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 very long time. Let's watch this.
Oh my f***ing god! 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 Oh my f***ing... Oh my god! Oh my f***ing god! Oh my f***ing god! Oh my god! Oh my f***ing god, dude! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes! 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 Oh! Oh my! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Yes! 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 Oh my god! Oh my f***ing god! Oh, I can't believe it! Oh my god, dude! I clutched the run there! Yes! Oh my god, dude! Oh! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Oh my god, dude! I did it! I did it, guys! I did it! Guys, come to my stream! Oh, I'm shaking! I'm shaking right now! Oh my god! Oh my god, bro! I can't believe it! Yes!
Yeah, I mean, it's just more of him being super, super pumped and happy and elated. I mean, elation is the way to describe that. That's the only way to describe it. He's so happy. And I mean, you can see why. It's like Ace, Mark, Luke, Wotus, Clemens, and Lockwood. This is a top tier record. It goes. I think the full clip is like 43 minutes long. I'm not kidding. Yeah, yeah. The reaction is like 40 minutes of him just chilling. He played it a long time. He really wanted 43, and he got it. And it's pretty amazing because yeah, he's a guy who has the skill of a top 10 player, but there's only been a few moments where he fully reaches that skill, and you can see how much the rush means to him. It's like he almost seems happier in this run than his Streets 112, which I think might be mostly because we're seeing his reaction like at the exact moment, whereas the Streets 112 when he wasn't streaming, he had to turn on stream and then react to it in post kind of. But this one's we're seeing it as it happens, and that's what he lives for, man. I mean, that's what all speedrunners live for, is that moment of that rush when you're like, this is it. It's sort of this weird blend of like hard work and perseverance and then instant gratification, right? It's like you work for hours and hours and hours playing this game, and then there's this one moment where it pays off. It's not like you're getting a deep education where it takes a long time and the payoff is years and years and years of progressive payoff for raising a family. And it's not instant gratification like, I'm sure there's lots of, let's say getting drunk or something like that, where it's boom and now you're high and, instant, right? It's like this weird combination where you have to actually work really, really hard, but then the payoff is instant. And maybe that's why speedrunning is so crazy, man. It's this crazy blend of hard work and instant payoff. But yeah, you're seeing the results of the rush. And oftentimes, like, I was watching a stream just yesterday. I won't say which GoldenEye speedrunner it was, but it was a guy playing Caverns Agent, and he wasn't having a good time. He was getting pretty mad. And now that I've kind of stepped back from speedrunning for like a year and a half, I don't really play right now. I can kind of see it in the frame of like, why are you playing if you're getting so mad at the game? People used to ask me this all the time, and I didn't have a good answer. But now I can kind of see it from their shoes now that I've kind of taken a step back. Why are you playing if you get so mad at the game? And, well, this is why. Because it's like, this moment, this rush is worth 50 or 100 hours of pain. It, like, actually is. It's such an indescribable moment. And I don't need to describe it because you just saw how Lockwood reacted. And that describes it better than I ever could, so there you go. Ryan Lockwood, Facility Agent 43, set in September 2016. Who would be next? Well, it would be this gentleman, Dan Swiss Parker. Now, I don't know the full story on Swiss Parker, but I'm pretty sure he had like 1,000 43 pace runs and just could never get a good Trev. Like, I think that's the case, and then he finally got a good Trev, and this was in like Capap 3, I think, is that right? Where all the guys hoard a bunch of times and then reveal them later on. But it was like, he had 43 potential for thousands and thousands of hours, and, that's an exaggeration, but he had a ton of 43 pace runs, all with bad Trevs, and then finally got the 43, and good Trev, and converted it into the 43. Yeah, okay, there you go. Lots of bad Trev 44s while making Capap 2, and then this was unhoarded. That's right. That all adds up now. Meant to be in Capap 2. Yeah. 43. Good run. I kind of like, the thing with Swiss is like, he obviously has like these tight circles in the community. He has guys who really like him, but I never see like the epic reactions and stuff of him, so I don't know too much about him. I think he's kind of more a Snapchat guy or something, so I don't get to see it all the time. I'm too old for that kind of nonsense. But yeah, so it's like 43 is legit, but I just don't have anything to add because we don't see like a Lockwood-esque reaction to this run. But I'm sure it felt really, really good for him, and it was a lot of hard work finally paying off after a year of grinding the level. The next 43 we're going to show is very, very interesting. It's by a gentleman named Gus Riolo, and Gus is a crazy guy. Wow, I was not expecting a right ear run for something done in 2017. But let's take a look here, check this out. Did it look like he started a little bit faster than anyone else? Because I think it did. And the reason is because he played this with the 2.4 control style. So on most levels, using 2.4, the game processes the inputs in the opening cutscene on the second controller. So it can process the movement inputs, but your position of Bond doesn't move, doesn't change. But it processes that you've been moving, so you start the level at full speed. On lots of levels, it saves 0.3 seconds. On Facility Agent, it doesn't save quite the full 0.3 because you start crouched, which is a slower form of movement. But it does save like maybe 0.1 or 0.2. And so Gus is so proficient with the two-controller control style that he can... I mean, it is incomprehensible. Like, most 2.x runs are on, like, straightforward levels with one or two strafe changes. And the fact that he can get this run on 2.4 is insane. Oh, Gus is in chat saying he got it after not playing for a few months in his second session and didn't know the audio cable was loose. That's why it was only right ear audio, but the YouTube audience will never know, so there you go. Yeah, most people can play, like, Streets with 2.x, Depot, maybe Dam. Gus is really good. That's how we got an Untied on Surface 1. We covered that in an episode last year. But to play this level with 2.x is, like, actually insanity. And it's probably the most complex world record ever achieved on 2.x, I would say, in terms of strafing and having to just managing the two controllers. I mean, it's like, okay, change strafe there, which is like you have to move from full right stick to full left stick on the second controller. Another strafe change, another strafe change, another strafe, like, it's incomprehensible, dude. Nobody knows how Gus does it unless he's secretly an octopus with 8 arms, I guess. Man, imagine. I guess if you're an octopus, let's say you had 8 limbs, you could dedicate 2 per controller, and you could probably work it out. So yeah, there you go. Maybe that's an explanation. But very, very impressive stuff from Gus Riolo. Like you said, second session back after a few weeks of not playing, or a few months of not playing. So, amazing run. Not to be outdone, only a few months later, we have our old pal, Carl Jobst. Let's see, where does this run begin? Let's take a look. This one's a funny Carl run. People are very confident on Facility. I mean, that's almost as fast as Ace's 43. Ooh, there was a small innovation there. I remember him talking about it. I'll point it out. Nice warp. Almost got hung up on the rail, but not quite.
Damn it, a bit too slow.
Damn it, a bit too slow.
Mob. Ah. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Find it.
Pwned it.
That was so sh**. It was such a sh** run. It was such a sh** run. I'm pretty glad.
A very casually kicked out 43. He seems almost half asleep, even. This was only like a month after his Damn 52, so safe to say it doesn't quite live up to that hype. And his Archives 15 was also pretty soon before this. Pretty short. What's the word I'm looking for? Was not long before this. And he was just going for a bunch of Agent World Records and just caked 43. You'll notice he stays in right strafe there. That was his kind of innovation. He thought normally you'd go like right to left, back to right. So 2 strafe changes he saves there. And that probably saves, yeah, could save 0.1, 0.2. Pretty good stuff. Pretty smart. And Carl's always very good at coming up with those sorts of small innovations to save time. And 43 just kind of meaningless to him, just another agent record that he had to get. And he did very, very easily and quickly. He kind of got hung up on the rail here, like for a micro frame. I'm talking like less than a frame. No, I didn't even see it that time, so probably not. I'm just making it up. Rutsu definitely got hung up. If not his 43 was his 44, right? One of them looked slow. Yeah, that one like wasn't perfect, obviously. Then where's Rutsu's 44? One of them looked really weird. No, I mean, we can't tell his 44s, so we won't be able to tell here. It must have been his 43. Maybe they look worse on first watch. Yeah, maybe that's it. Facility Agent, what a level. The next 43 be from this gentleman, Joris Quevedo, a new French player. Let's watch him play. Oh, this might not be 43. It is Joris Quevedo trying to play Facility Agent. Oh yeah, it's a little bit. So this is the old strat. Maybe 46 or 47 pace, but Three Mines, Ancient. What? Why did he throw a shoe at his TV? You get like 2 frames of it. Wow, you get literally 2 frames. It was a pillow. There's one, okay. 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frames over. You get 3 frames of him throwing a pillow at his screen. I don't know why he decided to do that on a Facility Agent 47, but he did. This was done in March 2018, but later that year, in December 2018, he got really, really good at GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and he got this speedrun. Oh, I see. He was constantly pacing 45. Couldn't get a good Trev. Well, he gets one here. That was super clean. Facility Agent 43, Joris Quevedo, becomes the 10th person to get 43 Agent. Let's look at the rankings. And now we're through to July 2019. 10 people. Ace, Mark, Luke, Wotus, Clemens, Lockwood, Swiss, Riolo, Carl, Joris Quevedo. 43. We can see now the records on Secret and Double Agent are 52. Again, should there be a 9-second gap between Agent and Secret, or a 10-second gap? Well, it is hard to know. And one person at least would attempt to return it to a 10-second gap. Yes, the following videos are all from our pal, Perfect Ace, who would direly attempt to achieve Facility Agent 42. Could he do it? Well, the entire lore has led up to this moment, so let's watch this speedrun. Bad Trev. Oh my god, this is like 40... $43 Bad Trev. Unbelievable. That was like, the music cue was insane. Remember that music cue I told you to listen to? So it's there, is like where that notes end. On his previous 43, it was there. He's like a full, like, several steps ahead. Bad Trev. So one thing I'm sure you noticed early on is that he throws a mine in the vents, which gives him 2 boosts. Now, because you're in the vents, it's like not the same as like it's like counterintuitive, right? It's not the same as a normal boost. It's like a clean, like, boom, 0.3 forward. You know, it's such a weird boost, but you get 2 of them, and, like, you can clearly see how much speed he's gaining from these boosts. It, like, really pushes him forward. Now, he tells me that, like, the start is super laggy if you're going for that strategy, which makes sense, but it is worth it. I mean, you can see how much... We know how much further ahead he is on his other 43s. And, like, surely those boosts aren't the entire time save, but, like, some of it is also just slightly more optimal gameplay. But that boost is pretty key. And, I mean, you have enough health on Agent to survive. And then you just have to do 2 boosts in the labs. On most 43s, people will be doing 3 boosts in the labs. Now you do 2 boosts there. And you boost past that guy. Warp to the end. Bad Trev 43. Unbelievable. Here's this tech comparison. So, what he started doing, he says Kaido is a leader who I guess came up with this. He kind of warps. It's weird because the door opens really fast. I think you'll see it on this run too. So you're not really warping it per se. But, like, it does seem helpful. Like right here, you kind of warp through the crack. The door's already open, but it feels faster. And if you compare the two, it, like, definitely is faster. You get to that door quicker. So it's like by switching weapons on the left side of this door instead of, like, in right strafe, it's like that's another 10th. And even in the comments down here, Matt Cook says, you know, 0.1 here, 0.1 there. Good find. So, I mean, things are starting to come a little bit together. Let's watch another amazing run by Ace. The double mine boost. Gets the key card. The Kaido Tech Warp. So that's a touch slower than his previous run, but still pretty insane. 1 boost. 2 boost. Scientist failed! So that's the first time we've seen that tonight, where if you're not careful with how you throw the mines in the labs, the scientists can fail. 43. Oh, we watched a bit of cutscene? Okay, there you go. But another 43 failed because the scientists died. Insane, but bad Trev completed. Certainly 42 pace. This one's just called Decent Facility Agent Run. Oh my god, he's like through the Objective A door at that tone. Bad Trev. .43 failed. He must have left slightly early. It seemed like Trev was even slower at talking to him on that run. Let's watch this one. 2 boosts. These were all done this year, I believe, 2019. He must have watched a bit of cutscene there. Trev even turned away from him. Completed. 43 duplication completed. Unbelievable. Here's another run. Ace was not using the 2.4 control style. Ace is using 1.2. Another bad Trev, though. 44 bad Trev. Yeah, it's hard to know. Well, obviously, if you use 2.4 and the boost, it would be like the fastest possible start. And like the combination of the two might only be like 0.05 faster than, you know, if you were to only pick or choose one. But like it still would theoretically be the fastest strategy. But he was just going with the one. He was just going with the double mine boost and not 2.4. I mean, 2.4 is so hard to handle. It's Riolo only for sure. Well, he would keep playing and playing and playing. And I mean, look, when you're getting runs like this, you're due, right? But like, are you? I mean, the thing is, in life, sometimes your dues never pay off. Sometimes, like, not that you're owed something, but, like, you come close, you put in the work, and sometimes it can just never come together. Would he ever get a good Trev on one of these insane runs? You know, I mentioned earlier that certainly less than 50% are good Trevs. Some people experience, like, less than 5% good Trevs. So, could it be 1 in 20 for Ace? We haven't seen 20 of these runs from Ace. Might he just never get a good Trev on a 42 pace run? It could happen. But he kept playing, It was like a pet project of him. It was almost like, Bunker 1 Secret Agent episode. I called it Ace's White Whale. And this one is almost like another one of his white whales. Like Captain Ahab just going nuts to find and finally defeat what's been getting to him for so long. Well, on July 7th, 2019, Ace had another chance. He saw the white whale on the horizon. It was there for the taking. The pieces fell into place. And all he had to do was clutch the run. And this run we're about to witness, my friends, is so remarkable. It can only be dedicated to the newest of our SpeedLore champions, Robert G. Thank you, Robert, for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon, being the newest member of the SpeedLore champions. I hope you enjoy this speedrun, and I hope you all enjoy this speedrun. A truly remarkable speedrun by Perfect Ace. Set only last month. Let's take a look. He's through the A area. No cutscene. Completed. Facility Agent 42 seconds. Time not saved. It's actually pretty... It's really insane that he would get a time not saved on this one. But, this may or may not be true. It may simply be hyperbole. But because 42 is so insane, most people are it had to be a time not saved, because only 42.97 was possible, and you had to, save that one frame to make it 42. If Ace waited one more frame for Trev to complete one frame earlier so the time would save, it would be 43. Now, it's probably not necessarily true. 42 time saved probably is possible, but I mean, the fact that 42 happened this way really, really, really sums it up. Yeah, I mean, it was a really good run. This could be 42.85, 42.90. This run is a good... Let's watch it again, man. It's amazing, amazing speedrun. I mean, that chime is done when he's through the Objective A door. Which is just, I mean, it's incredibly insane. Facility Agent 42 by Perfect Ace. Very healthy. There's his slew of records on the level. Pow, 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 NTSC. Here are the facility rankings today. Ace 42, all these other guys with 43, a bunch of 44s, a bunch of 44s. Wow, that's a lot of 44s now. 45 seconds, and so on. And unbelievable. Let's take a look at the rankings now. 42, 52, 52. I mean, the only real question left on Facility is, like, as of right now at least, is, like, is 51 Secret Agent possible? Ace has had many runs of 51 pace, but on Secret Agent you need both a good Trev and Dr. Doak, who comes from one in random 7 positions he can randomly choose from, so you need double good luck. Or maybe sextuple good luck. You need a lot of good luck. So that's where it stands for now. I'm sure he will try for 51, like, over the next little while on Secret Agent, you know, here and there. Few streams here, few streams there. But that 42 is incredible. And, I mean, I guess you could ask who, if anyone, will get 42 times saved. 42 times saved is, like, it's hard to know if anyone else can even get 42. Like, a lot of people get 43. But you saw how happy Lockwood and Clemens were with 43. Imagine now cutting another full second off that. It's it would be quite a sight to see, that's for sure. What incredible, incredible speedruns. Well, there you have it, my friends. That is the lore of Facility Agent. Remarkable speedruns culminating in Facility 42 by Perfect Ace. Could it be tied soon? You know, who knows? Someone grinds it out over the next few months, or will it last years and years and years? I think either is very possible, and only time will tell. It's just up to the players. Is someone mad enough to go for it over all the other times in the game, or will they let it be for years to come? A big thank you to all the patrons, all the SpeedLore legends supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. You know, we're now a good way through the year, 8 months through, and your support of SpeedLore has been truly remarkable, so thank you very, very much for that. And we're just going to keep on cruising through the next few months. Got at least 3-4 more episodes this year, so before you know it, we'll be right back at it with another episode of GoldenEye SpeedLore. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay true, my friends, and I'll see you in the next stream or video. Good night.